Hello everyone, Sunil here from Clean and Exterior Clean Melbourne. We're just retrofitting a new pump, a new softwash pump and proportioner into the trailer. I've got my colleague and expert fitter outer, Callum from Softwash Cleaning in Melbourne. And so basically we've just ripped everything out of here. This is normally where I had all my chemicals. As you can see here, they're all stored under the tanks, and then I was operating basically with a 12 volt flow jet pump with a power source converter. So I'd just plug in the generator into this power source and then it would drive the pump. It was all well and good, but the reality was the pump just struggled to deliver pressure, especially on some larger commercial jobs. So this is why we've ended up going with the 1 horsepower Gould. This is out of the States, you know. It's a beast. It also changes the way that I have to work, because I used to batch mix with this setup. So I used to basically batch mix everything in this tank, all my chemical, SH, surfactant, and smell, or what do they call it, fragrance. And then this tank was basically water. Both of these tanks can also be fed to the pressure washer, so that kind of works quite well. But anyway, long story short, we're going to change that. We're going to put the Gould pump in, and we've also got a proportioner, which is a chemical dosing unit, again out of the United States. So there's a bit of money that's gone down, but that's hopefully going to come back to us in speed and efficiency, and yeah. So this is the finished result, and the trailer's packed up a little bit now. But just remember that we started with a flow jet. So I had a flow jet pump. All of this framing, all the tanks were already mounted. We just made some modifications to be able to now fit in the Gould 1 horsepower booster pump and the proportioner system, which basically allows us to dose our mix of sodium hypochlorite or chlorine, dose also the amount of surfactant or soap that we use, as well as the amount of water that we use. So this is what this dosing station's about. So basically we started with the flow jet setup already, and what we've done here is we've replumbed a lot of the lines and used what we can. So just bear that in mind, and my colleague here from Softwash Cleaning, Callum, has been the guy who's helped accomplish this. I've just been the gopher working with him. Any comments, or Callum, from your end?
From my end, if you're looking at a softwash system, Gould pump proportioner is top of the range worldwide, basically. So this is what the top Americans run in America. So it's almost like you can't fault it system. You have little problems, very little problems. Every kind of system has some kind of problems even down there, but this is the least amount of problems you have.
Yeah.
You'll get the best results. You'll be able to work a lot quicker than any other system that there is. And basically this is the best system in Australia and America and worldwide.
Yeah. Okay. Any comments about the way we set it up, or anything that you think people need to know about, specifics, or?
When it needs to be set up, obviously you want to make sure it's set up in a way that's accessible, easily accessible.
Yeah.
So you spend the least amount of time mucking around trying to get the different fittings and adjust different ball valves and adjust different valves.
Yeah.
Obviously you want everything easy, accessible.
Yeah.
So it cuts down work time.
Okay, let's get into a little bit of detail, not too much, but basically we've got our water tank here, we've got our SH tank here, we've got our surfactant and fragrance in there. We will be using Apple Wash, available through Softwash Australia. All the plumbing has been done so that it's plumbed to the booster pump as well as the proportioner, and then we also have another option which allows us to actually use both of these tanks in the event that we need to pressure wash and we don't have access to water. We can actually fill up both of these tanks, and they can be plumbed and run to the pressure washer. to be able to work. So there you've got 400 litres of workable water that you can then use to clean if you don't have access to water. So that was the other thing that we did. We used marine ply and obviously treated pine, and we've actually, you know, put a little bit of additional framing in just to keep things tight and from moving around too much. Anything else, Callum?
I think you pretty much covered it. Obviously, because the framing was already there,
Yeah.
tanks were already there, so we basically worked with what we had already and come up with the best result we could with what we had.
The last thing I quickly remembered is, and it's an important one as well, is if you do have a system, try to use the Gould, the Gilmore, I don't know, it's like a garden gun, isn't it, basically? Because what we discovered, and this was also reiterated by Nick from Softwash Australia, was that it delivers fantastic pressure, and you don't need to necessarily then clip on and clip off all your different nozzles for your J-rod. You can of course use that, but this delivers fantastic pressure and versatility, both in terms of spray pattern and a more focused single jet. So that was really important. Actually, I was using a Suttner gun on the end of that, which is about $250, and it wasn't delivering the pressure that we wanted. And we switched over to the Gilmore, and it just feels fantastic, and it feels like really work fast. So coming back to the purpose of why I've done this is really around speed, about being able to get into a job, knock it out, and also be able to do some house washing. So that's another thing that I should add, is that we've been working together a little bit, giving jobs to each other, and Callum's been soft washing houses the way they do in the States here in Melbourne, and it's been very effective, and we haven't had any, you know, questions around why we're not pressure cleaning them, you know. So so that's the idea behind spending the money to get this up and running, and I did it through finance, so I'm paying it off over 3 years. It's not an expensive setup when you consider it in that way for the amount of money you'll make in the process. All right, I think that's all I need to say. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this helpful and useful. If you need to contact or purchase any equipment, we highly rate Nick from Softwash Australia. He's been great to deal with, and he's thanks to him we've been able to access this equipment in Australia. And thank you, Callum, for your great skills in putting it together. Bye folks.